First of all, Martin, man, it's been about a week or so, a little bit over a week since your fight, since your title defense at Inside the Matrix. You're sitting in quarantine in Sydney. Let's get into that first, man. The whole quarantine thing. This is the first one you've done, right?
Yeah, well, this yeah, second one I've done. The first one was when I came back when I was scheduled to fight Tan the first time back in April, and I had to leave. I mean, we got to quarantine at home, which was much better than what it is here. But we got looked after by the New South Wales government, the health, and my brother-in-law who also hooked it up as well. He works for the health department, but we got looked after him, my coach and I. We got a nice room. From what I see, other people, man, they're like in a travel lodge box and they're just like basically sleeping on top of each other. But we got looked after here, man. We got our own suite, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great, man, because you're not alone. Being alone in a hotel room for 2 weeks or however how long you have to be there, it sucks. And having your coach and then you could train. I've been seeing that you've been training too. You're already back in there hitting mitts, moving around. How are you feeling right now?
I feel good, man. It's just basically, man, it's the rebuild, man.
Hmm.
Working my way back up to get back everything that I've worked so hard for that was taken away from me. So slowly but surely, I'm letting my body heal. Just a few bit of bruises and swellings that need to go down. And I get it every fight. So once all that goes away within the next 2 weeks or so, um, it's slowly just going back to basics, man.
Hmm.
What it is. That's what we're
So
gonna do, man. Just gonna go back to basics and figure out what went wrong, where I went wrong, and work my way back up.
so there's nothing that's gonna take a long time to actually heal on your body.
Nah, nah,
Okay,
nah.
that's
Everyone's
good to
saying
hear.
that a lot of people have been hitting me up. Why am I getting back into it so fast after I've been knocked out and everything? The
Mhm.
truth of the matter is, I wasn't knocked out. Every punch in that fight, I felt all up until the
Mhm.
very end of when Yuji Shimada jumped in. I was awake. I
Mhm.
wasn't cleanly knocked out. Yeah, it probably gave me a mild concussion, but it is what it is, man. Every fight,
Mhm.
I get concussions all the time. Not really all the time, but like if that's a concussion, man, like that's nothing to me.
Let's jump right into that. The fight. It was going really well. The first couple of rounds, you were controlling the center of the cage. You were moving forward. Was that the game plan going in? Is to kind of have him on the back foot the whole time?
You know what, man? I'll be straight up honest with you. There was no game plan going into this fight. It was pure emotions, and my I didn't. What I realized is that I didn't respect the work that I had put in um, for all those years that I had the title. I just wanted to go in there and hurt a guy. Right? There was no game plan. I just wanted to go in there and throw hands. I just wanted to fight, regardless win or lose. He came with a game plan. He stuck it out to the very end, and it worked out for him. So he came to win. I came to fight. That's the story. And yeah, man, I got caught, and um, first time ever. I think it was just momentum of me throwing a right hand at the same time as being caught at the same time just threw me off balance, and he capitalized with multiple punches.
It was a gunfight. That's definition. Just a straight up gun battle. You guys are just throwing bombs, and it's almost like you guys are just taking the chance. Him too. He was just throwing
Yeah,
hard, and it was in. I think it was one of the craziest exchanges this year for one championship. And a lot of people going into this fight, they anticipated that. They anticipated you guys going in there and putting it all on the line. And I think the fans they were rewarded by this fight.
yeah, 100%, man. In saying that, man, like for me, usually this is not my type of fight. Going in there and just throwing down. Like for me, I like to be smart. I like to mix up a bit of wrestling and pick my opponents apart. But it's just I don't know preparing this. I don't know this time around it was just different. I'm preparing for somebody for almost a whole year,
Mm-hmm.
right? I built so much hate and so much um, like animosity towards someone that I don't even know, and it's not me. And yeah, just played out in a fight, man. I let my emotions get into it, and I didn't really care. I actually I went in there fighting like I'd get hit just to throw a hit. Like that's not
Mm-hmm.
me. Like it is what it is. But no excuses. I'm not taking anything away from him. He done his job, and he got the reward.
When you start to engage and become more aggressive, did you see anything? Did you feel like he was hurt by one of your shots? Is that why you started to move forward much more aggressively than you were?
Nah, I just wanted to press forward. I knew that he was getting tired. He's never been out of the second round. but good on him for going to the third, 2.5-ish. But yeah, we knew later rounds he would start to fade away. And it's just the way, like you don't have that cage time experience. I mean, you can train for it, but that cage time experience is a big difference. And the later rounds, we knew that once we start picking it up, then he'll start falling off. And just as he started to fall off, he hit me with something that it is what it is. I can't take anything away from him. He hit me with a good shot that really, I slipped one of his jabs, and as I threw a double jab, man, he threw a right hand, which at the same, I was throwing my right hand at the same time. It just hit me.
The process that you take after a loss, dealing with the loss, what can you take us through that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it took me almost a day to get over the thought and the feelings. But as I said, I'm not going to take anything away from him. He came to fight, and he came to win. That was the main thing. He did what he had to do to get his hand raised. For me, I've been there. I know what it feels like to win, and I know what it feels like now to lose. So when the next fight comes, as I said, man, I'll rack up a few wins. The rematch is going to be different, 100%. But a lot of people can say that. A lot of people have said that every time. I fought Christian Lee, and every single time he's fought me, he says it's different. It's the same fight. But for me, I'm just going to work on myself, being a smarter and better fighter, and just go in there and do my thing, man. Like I have been for the last 6 years with one championship. Fight a smart fight, and not a emotional fight.
Yeah, I noticed that was the difference. Now that you say it, that I saw in this fight is that the first couple of rounds, man, you're doing your thing. You're doing it. You're being more calculated. You're going in there. You're sticking and moving, and then just all of a sudden something snapped, and then it was just like all out chaos, and that's the result sometimes, right?
Yeah, well, we knew his game plan after the first round. He was just going to stick and move, pepper meal shots, win by points if it was going to go to the decision. That's coming to win. That's his game plan. Sticking and moving, that taekwondo on the back foot strikes. Yeah, it's typical. It's a typical Stephen Wonderboy type of fighter. He has knockout power behind him, but once I felt his power, I was just like, okay, is that all you got? And I went in there reckless. And once I caught one that I didn't see coming, that's the ones that hurt the most, And yeah, I can't say anything about that. He done his job, and yeah, he got his hand raised.
What did the doctors tell you? How long will it be until you're able to maybe get back to sparring at least?
I think with any TKO or KO finishes with one championship, it's automatic 90 days, 3 months. But for me, it's up to me with my body, man. Like for me, we're already back at work, slowly progressing bits and pieces here and there, working on different ways to cut off a cage instead of chasing somebody and playing to their game. We're just doing non-contact stuff. My coach and I, he's been my coach for years now. He knows how to deal with all this type of stuff. So we're working while in the hotel quarantine. We get to go out outside and just do our thing for a few days. We get to, I mean, you got to book it, but it is what it is. We get the benefits of going outside instead of training inside our living room or on the balcony. So yeah, we've been here before, man. Sooner or later, I'm just gonna come back better and better, more hungrier, more smarter, and stronger. And then the rematch is gonna be inevitable.
You posted that you want to be back in February. Have you talked to one about that return?
So why I said February is the 3 months, man. November, December, January. I won't be competing because of the suspension. As soon as that suspension's up, man, I'm booking a fight. Whether it'll be the rematch or whether it'll be whoever is next in line, I don't really care. To be honest, I don't really care. I want to be racking up those wins to earn my shot again. I'm not those type of guys. Yeah, I was the champion for 3 years, but the way I got finished, man, I have to work. I have to rack up a few wins, man. Realistically.
Well, I spoke with Tan, and he's talking about, okay, if one wants to do the rematch, he's not going to fight against it. He wants to fight the best guys, and you're one of the best guys. So it looks like the rematch should probably happen beginning next year.
Yeah, if one offers that, I appreciate it. But as I said, man, I don't really care. I still get paid the same to fight either the champion or the next contender. So regardless of who may the next person be, it's gonna be trouble for them.
Hmm. Definitely, definitely. Maybe is the plan to spend Christmas with your family and then get back out to Florida to Sanford MMA and put in that camp for the next fight?
You know what, man? November, the whole of November, the whole of December, New Year's, Christmas, whatever it may be, it's going to be all family time. I mean, I've been away at the end of this quarantine. I've been away for 9 weeks, man, and it sucks because usually after my fight camp, the week before fight week, I go home to spend time with the family just to break it up, tape it down before I go out for fight week. And this time I couldn't because Australia is in lockdown, and once you come back in, you're immediately into quarantine. I can't risk that type of stuff. So I had to stay in Florida, and that last week of tapering off, I'm still peaking. So it was the whole experience was different. Even up until fight week, it was complete chaos. So it's a good learning experience, learning curve. Um, and when it comes around next time, I'll be ready for everything.
I was reading some of the comments and they were talking about you were cursed with the hair, man. I was like, why do people talk they're cursed with the hair? It's like
It's something different, man. I don't know. A lot of people say,
I think it looks all right though. You it doesn't look crazy to be honest with you.
yeah, my wife is on their side, but she doesn't like it. But who cares, man? I wanted something different.
Yeah.
Whether people thought it was gonna be, Super Saiyan or whatever, it's
Yeah.
something different. It's not gonna change my performance. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Then later that night, Ung went out there and he also lost his title fight against the Ritter. When you have that type of night, man, what is the atmosphere like for yourself? I mean, are you that down on yourself, or do you guys look at it as
never,
this is the sport, we are professionals, we got to move forward?
never, man, never do we look it down. I mean, look what we're going home to, man. A healthy family. That's the main thing. We can provide for him still. We are healthy in every way, shape, or form. Um, Angla was 100, he was ready to go next week. He didn't really care. For me, I had a few bumps and bruises, which is expected so after a fight like that. Um, so for me, I didn't really care. I was going home to a healthy family, um, a family that loves me, and a team that supports me. So uh, we know. I mean, if we got beaten by a much better fighter, then we know what we got to go back and work on. We did get beaten by a better fighter on the night, so we still have things to work on. But in saying that, man, it's we don't with these losses, man. We don't really. Oh man, should have, would have, could have. We done everything we could that night. It was just, we kind of figured that that type of those type of fight cards from here on out, man, we can never be on the same card because when when one of my friends fight or one of another champion fights or someone we're close to, especially like someone like me and Ung fight, I want to put all my energy and my positivity into him and watching him succeed and being there for him when he succeeds. So when I lost in the back, when I lost, it affected Ung truly, and like he even said it himself, man, I was so excited, and then that loss happened, and I was like, I wasn't even thinking about my fight. Like it was just one of those things that we can't fight on the same card because we want to feed off the same energy that we both have, So we come to the conclusion that no more sharing the same fight cards. Um, and I'm sure he's going to make a return. I think in January or so, whatever it is. And I'll be back in February,
All right.
hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, like I completely understand what you're saying about that. It can affect you. Some people say no, it doesn't affect, but I think if you're close enough to the other fighter, you know what I mean? Like when brothers fight on the same card, like stuff like that, it's like I don't know how they do it, man. That could get into your
Yeah,
head bad.
I think, to be honest with you, man, I thought like um, when Christian lost to me and Angela was the main event and she was like crying when she was walking out, I thought
Mhm.
like, man, she's putting it on. But nah, man, it's as Ung said, man, it affected him. I mean, he was still zoned in, but you're not 100% crisp like
Yeah.
no one else cares. Like, it affected him, and for me, like I wanted to be there for him, even though I lost. Like I didn't really
Mhm.
care. Like it is what it is. I wanted to be there for him and still give him that same energy. But we couldn't. We were ushered out straight away, straight into the
Mhm.
car, straight into the hotel room. I was like, we are back in the hotel room within like 15 minutes. I was like, what the hell, man. It was a different experience to what we were used to, but it's something that we know for next time.
How do you feel about one championship? They seem to be more lenient now on the trash talk. Like Chatri is not as strict about it. Do you like that? Do you like that, World Championship is allowing fighters to kind of go back and forth a little bit?
Yeah, I think in a way it can be healthy for the fight to promote it for the business type of sake. But for me, I'm always against it, man. I don't really like that shit. And when it happened to me, this is what I mean. I got emotional, and when someone was talking so much that this my career, my skills and all that, I got emotional, and yeah, I don't like it. I think Chatri is cool with it so long as it doesn't go towards like family members and like personal thing. But if it's about the fight and I'm gonna knock you out and all that type of shit, then I think he's all for it. That's building the fight. I mean, regardless for us, I don't like it. But if they do it, they're stupid of doing it because they're doing the promoter's job. It's not out. You're not gonna get paid more for promoting the fight. You're just gonna get paid your show and win, right? So if you're talking shit to promote the fight, you're an idiot, But it's not like when I think UFC is different when it comes to that, but for one championship, it's a show and win purse, So whether you talk shit or not, it's purely based on personality.
Fighting in front of I think it was only 250 people in the arena that night. Was that very odd to be in such a quiet place?
Yeah, it was quiet, but to the point where I was landing shots and they were screaming. I was like, oh, okay, now like obviously they see something that I'm blind spotted. I was just tunnel vision when it came to time, but yeah, there was a bit of screams here and there, but you can hear more like everything when they scream, it's more clearer. Like some guy was like, "Bro, a punch, Martin," like that. I was like, "What?" I was like, "What are you watching?" But yeah, I seen that, and yeah, there was a few comments that was said, and I was like, "Oh, I heard him this time. Like I heard somebody this time." And yeah, I heard my cornerman clearly. But he's what it is.
Yeah, it must have been odd because you're used to that
That's
sold
cool.
out crowd in Manila, and Singapore is usually sold out too, and that's like two of the main places you fight in the past. It's being able to hear somebody in the third, fourth row say something to you, it's kind of weird.
That was trippy. It was a bit of a trip out. Like the main, like the positivity out of it is that I got to hear my cornerman
Mm-hmm.
clean, fresh and clean.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also heard the other negative comments that were said by the people in the crowd, but it wasn't really that negative. It was just like just robots telling me how to fight, telling me how
Yeah.
to do my job.
Yeah, you know how it is. I'm looking forward to you getting back, man, and on that comeback trail. You know what I mean? Tan, he performed really well against you, and now it's your job to go back in there and rise back up and challenge him
You know,
for that title.
I've been here before, man. I've been through the losses. I've been through the wins, and I know the feelings of both wins and losses. So um, that's why I said, man, he won. I'm not going to take anything from him, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to make any excuses. He won fair and square. It is what it is. Good on him. Now he's the champ. Um, and now I know what it feels like to lose everything that I worked so hard for. So it's just ignited another beast in me. So it was just like when my undefeated streak was taken away from me. I came back on a 6-fight tear. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But I know for sure that I'll be working smarter than ever. I'm with the best team in the world, so the strength and the skills are always going to be there, and we're always going to get better and better. But for me, mentally is where it needs to be when it comes to a fight. So I can't let my emotions get involved.
Take a move in the ring. You can hit me with a word.